Allow me to break the internet gently. Tanzania just did something the West loves for themselves, but hates when Africa does it. President Samia Suluhu Hassan appointed her daughter and her son in law as government ministers, and suddenly everyone's acting like she crowned Simba on Pride Rock. But here's the twist: it's legal, it's ethical, and it's actually very African. Picture this: a nation led by a Muslim woman president, choosing qualified family members she trusts to execute a national vision she built. This isn't scandal, this is strategy. Europe keeps its dynasties but questions ours. Let's check it out.
Good evening, I'm Tansai Gabriel, and this is POA Evening News. Stay with us for insightful coverage on stories shaping Africa and beyond. Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan has been sworn in for a second term. The inauguration ceremony is held at a military parade grounds in the capital, Dodoma. Samia was declared the winner on Saturday with 98% of the vote. Following the re-election of President Samia Suluhu Hassan, tensions have escalated across Tanzania. Numerous leaders and international organizations have voiced their reactions to both the election outcome and the subsequent unrest. How the African Union is following the developments? Well, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mohamed Ali Youssef, acknowledged the official results of the presidential election and extended his congratulations to President Samia Suluhu Hassan on her victory. He expressed deep regret over the loss of life during post-election protests and offered heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims. The chairperson emphasized the importance of protecting fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right to peaceful assembly and freedom of expression. He urged Tanzanian authorities to uphold these rights within the bounds of the law and encourage citizens to exercise their freedoms responsibly and peacefully. He reaffirmed the values enshrined in the African Charter on democracy, elections and governance, particularly the rule of law, human rights, civil liberties, and political pluralism as essential pillars of a democratic and stable society. The African Union reiterated its commitment to supporting both the people and the government of Tanzania in the efforts to maintain peace, national unity, and democratic progress. To reinforce its dedication to democratic governance, the AU deployed observers throughout Tanzania to monitor campaign activities, election preparations, and voting procedures on election day.
So, you heard it. Here's the real story. President Samia reshuffled her cabinet and appointed her daughter, Wanuhafida Amir, to Deputy Minister of Education, Science, and Technology, her son-in-law, Mohammed Omar Bachengerwa, into Minister of Health. Both highly educated with at least master's level degrees, both previously serving in the government, both vetted, both qualified, but the global reaction is confusion, right? Double standards, and the classic Western whisper, oh no, nepotism. But what they're not telling you is Tanzanian law allows the president to appoint qualified individuals, family or not. They meet all the legal and professional criteria, and African governance has always valued trusted lineage and loyalty. Samia's leadership is rooted in stability and continuity, not chaos. The West acts shocked as if Winston Churchill didn't have a whole political family tree. Because here's the deeper truth: this isn't corruption. This is cultural memory resurfacing. So let's look at it. When African leaders appoint their children, it's called corruption, right? But when Europeans do it, it's called heritage, continuity, family legacy, the crown. Let's look at the UK, Spain, Belgium, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, all have hereditary power structures. Saudi Arabia, family governance. Japan, imperial lineage. India, Gandhi dynasty. USA, the Bush family, Kennedy family, Clinton network. Nobody says nepotism. They all say political dynasty. But when an African woman president appoints qualified family members, suddenly everybody finds their moral compass. Africa doesn't fear legacy. Africa is shaped by it. For thousands of years, leadership flowed through clans, lineages, royal houses, councils of elders. Colonialism dismantled these systems, but it didn't erase them. Today, Africa only has 3 recognized monarchies: Eswatini, Lesotho, and Morocco. But dozens of unrecognized kingdoms still operate culturally. So Buganda in Uganda, Oyo in Nigeria, Ashanti in Ghana, Zulu Kingdom in South Africa, Bunyoro in Uganda, Benin Kingdom descendants, Bamoun Kingdom in Cameroon. These royal houses still influence culture, ethics, and leadership, even without political titles. So why is the world comfortable when European dynastic power continues but allergic to African lineage? Exactly. So let's take a look at why this moment actually matters. Trust is an African governance currency. African rule is historically governed with people they trusted, not strangers with shiny resumes, but loyalty to the actual community. Samia knows who is competent, who is aligned, who shares her mission. Trust is not corruption, it's infrastructure. Secondly, it protects her reform agenda. So her presidency has been transformative. Women's empowerment, public sector reform, tourism revival, anti-corruption audits, global diplomacy, religious tolerance, economic recovery. The list goes on. Family members aligned with her vision ensure continuity, not sabotage. Next, in politics, trust is priceless. In Africa, it's sometimes the missing line item in the budget, right? So it reclaims African leadership models. This is the deep part. For centuries, African leadership's systems were crushed. Chiefs replaced colonizers, or were replaced by colonizers. Councils replaced by governors. Kingdoms replaced by districts. Lineage replaced by foreign approval. So this appointment reminds us of what Africa used to be. A continent where leadership was communal, legitimacy came from lineage, loyalty was governance, family stewardship was normal. So this isn't going backwards, this is remembering forward. And it also shows women in leadership holding power confidently. A Muslim woman president bold enough to trust her family publicly sends a message. Her leadership is firm, her decisions are hers, and she's not asking for permission. And this is relevant to the diaspora because young Africans abroad have grown up hearing that Africa is unstable, African leaders are corrupt. But Tanzania is showing leadership can be modern, competent, and culturally grounded all at once. So in the future, this could lead to the return of culturally informed governance. More leaders may feel empowered to choose trusted advisors, family members, local experts, community-rooted leaders instead of chasing Western approval. Also, Africa needs strong leadership continuity, and oftentimes it suffers from policy reversals, political instability, leadership discontinuity, right? But trusted governance teams mean smoother transitions, longer term planning, and fewer internal betrayals. So this needs to be a Pan-African rethinking of nepotism. The West uses one word to shame us, and Africa may redefine it through cultural lineage, ethical appointment, verified competence, national interest, whatever we need, right? And if you think this is bold, just wait until you see what we do next, right? At the end of the day, this isn't a story about a single family. This is a story about courage. President Samia trusted her lineage, not because of bloodline privilege, not because of anything else, but strictly because of competence, loyalty, and vision alignment. Africa deserves leaders who lead confidently, not leaders who fear Western judgment. And at this moment right here, Africa is choosing its own standards, its own models, and it's our definition of legitimacy. So, mashallah, that's your African Insight for today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this message as well, because I'm Mr. EmpowerTV. We don't chase the headlines, we chase the truth behind them. This is Mr. Empower, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.